Will you give the listeners kind of the 3 to 5 minute elevator pitch on hemp synergistics as it stands today? Go for it.
Yeah. So if you look at just the hemp industry in general, cannabis industry, they're kind of the same because we're talking about molecules at that point. There's always been a problem with delivery forms. There's been a problem with how the ingredient works with different things like food and capsules. It's not like your typical vitamin B powder where you just pour it in and you only need this much and you can compound it with other things. It's an oil that's viscous. It's not standardized. It has chemicals in it through the through the extraction process. It has smells. It's bitter. Like it's not ideal for a lot of industries. So what Hemp Synergistics is focused on is looking at major problems in the big industries just that are sitting on the sidelines or just putting a toe in right now.
Okay.
So you have food and beverage, which is the big monster. You have nutraceutical. You also have law enforcement, which has all kinds of problems that are now coming to fruition because you have hemp that's been federally legalized. So people are driving around with what looks like marijuana, smells like marijuana, tastes like marijuana, but it's completely legal under the new Farm Bill. Police officers are trained that you're lying. They're trained to think you're lying. So when you say, well, this is CBD, they say, yeah, right. The lab test will figure it out. To get to that point, there's 8 months in queue at a state crime lab. And then there's $800 before someone can tell you that it's legal.
Wow.
So if you look at the three major problems we look to solve, law enforcement has that as a problem. So what we did was we patented with Purdue University Northwest a field unit that for $14 on the hood of a car, a police officer could take the hemp, grind it up, put it in a little shaker with some chemicals, and within 90 seconds, via a color match test, tell you exactly how much THC is in there. Not even just pass, fail. It literally says, here's much is in it.
Okay, let's just take a pause right there. Take a deep breath. Patented device that you could sell to every precinct across the country.
Yep.
Holy, how many, is it just in Pennsylvania? Do you have that?
No, so it's cool. So we just launched it. We launched in January. To give you an idea, within about 45 days, we were on the docket to propose to this, to present to this state Senate of the state of Indiana. We had to go sit and answer questions and do all this, basically, show the research, show the testing we've done, show how it works, because they want to implement it into the state program as legislation that if somebody gets pulled over, it has to run through this test before there's all kinds of pressure and weight put on the state crime lab system.
Oh man, okay.
So and the state crime labs are fighting it because they want the business. Right.
I see. I was just about to ask you who gets hurt in this deal. Yeah. Is there revenue? Who loses? Right.
Yeah. The state crime labs.
Okay. But if it is passed, if legislation is passed and you got the patent on it, I mean, home run, my friend.
Yep. Yeah. And it's really interesting when you do stuff with IP, because if you can go out there and prove concept with it and you have lockdown, I mean, I hate to say lockdown, nothing's ever locked down, but IP that's enforceable. Yeah. You're in a good position if it's a huge problem. Like you said, every police officer in the country should have this, and maybe someday will.
Yes.
So right now we have a couple big companies that are looking at coming in and taking that IP because they already have distribution within those systems. I
see. Okay, that's a win too. Okay.
Oh, that'll be a huge win.
Yeah, okay. Now, but as far as the rest of your business, are you? Tell us about the powder.
Yeah. Sorry. So I usually start with those and then go into.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to get you off.
It's okay. My fault. So imagine that you wanted to put hemp or marijuana into food, and you may have eaten a marijuana brownie. It tastes like marijuana. It smells like it. People kind of want that because they're going for the high. They want to make sure that what they paid for is in there, and it's always been the marijuana enthusiasts that have no problem with that. But if Oreo cookie, which they have been talking about, it wants to put CBD into an Oreo cookie, they want the Oreo cookie to taste like the age-old recipe that they built a brand around.
Okay.
They don't want it to taste. They don't want it to smell. They don't want to have to change the recipe. They don't want to change anything. So what we did was we took the distillate, which, you see what it looks like in a vape pen. It's that very viscous oil. Yes. It's like glue, which you can't mix. You can't dose. When you do put that into food, it smells bad. It's bitter. When you taste it, it has like this just bitter, bad, and it kind of ruins your taste buds for a little bit.
Okay.
What we did is we took a helix structure polysaccharide and we impregnated it with the CBD molecule with whatever cannabinoids we want. We took away the smell, took away the taste, and we made it so you could literally pour it like flour. Now it's in a form that food manufacturers are used to using. All they do is they do the recipe as usual, pour it in, mix it, and now boom, you have an even 25 milligrams of CBD per dose. They can't taste it, they can't smell it, and your recipe is intact.
Is this a patented, protected process product?
Absolutely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be saying it yet. We
Well,
actually we just filed it. We had the provision all year. We just filed the final patent, and so we're
I mean,
good on it.
same thing. I mean, what Nabisco or I don't know, Frito-Lay, whoever. I mean, all these companies now they're calling you to get that material, right?
Correct. And that's who we're dealing with are the tier one food manufacturers. The big guns.
Yeah. Are you going to supply? Are you going to be a manufacturer and supplier? Or are you going to sell and license the process and let them do it in their factories? What are you going to do?
So in the CBD and within the CBD within the CBD industry under the Farm Bill program, we can sell it to anybody as is. So we'll be the manufacturer for anything that's not THC related.
Okay.
What we are doing right now, we're in the process of finding partners within each of the state programs, so that, for instance, in California, where you have all these different chocolate manufacturers, the rules are a lot looser. We could go to one manufacturer, license the technology, have them do it, and now we have a manufacturing plant within that state that could make this powderized, 55% solution. That's 2.5 times stronger than everybody else, doesn't taste, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how that'll work. Ultimately, what's going to happen is one of these tier ones are going to come in and buy that IP so that none of the competitors could have it. That's what our plan is. So
I see. So Coca-Cola or anybody else, like for example, these drinks that I see on the shelf right now with CBD in them, that's for like, where are those bottlers or manufacturers, where are they buying that? And how's that different from what you would sell a food and beverage?
That's actually a great question. I'm glad we got there. This is another reason why we built it. They would have to use Nano. So with CBD, I could be any drink manufacturer. I could just take water and pour CBD into it, mix it up, make sure I have a compliant label, and I'm good. The problem is that the powderized technology that's been what the industry has seen to date is called Nano Technology.
Okay.
We don't know how safe it is. People are making all kinds of claims from people that run a biotech facility. We can tell you that for every CBD molecule, you're getting 5 to 8 chemicals attached to that molecule. So that's how Nano is working. You basically beat the hell out of the CBD, I should say the distillate, to the point with a sonicator. It moves so fast it'll vaporize ice within a couple seconds. It'll make your teeth hurt if you're standing near it. That's how fast it vibrates. So it shakes it to death, breaks the molecules up real small, and then they bond around the outside of I should say all the chemicals bond around the outside. So now that becomes water soluble. It's not safe. We don't know what the research is going to end up showing, if people actually do research it. A lot of other countries have made it where you have to list that there's nanotechnology on the product because they don't know what's going to happen yet. And we think the big problem is a nano particle is like 50 nanometers, which is really small. It's seeping into plastic. It's getting through the blood-brain barrier. It's bringing chemicals in with it. So nano's a problem, and that's what people have been using. On top of that, it tastes like crap. I have a video online that I did where I take a sip of it and I literally spit it out on video because it's that bad. A little bit, dramatic, and that was the plan. But, that's what they would do.
Is your goal with Hemp Synergistics then? Is it like, hey, we're going to create this IP, we're going to create this product, we're going to sell that off, but Hemp Synergistics, the biotech company, the consulting firm, continues to develop and create new things, and then maybe we sell that too? Is that the plan?
Correct.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll act as a manufacturer for these until we can't, right?
Okay.
And then we go out to certain contract manufacturers for things. And then if someone wants to come in and buy that technology, for the right price, we'll do it. Our timing's good because the industry is just starting to grow up. You have a lot of people that are what I call first waivers that jumped in early. You might have a guy that knew a little bit about science and knew how to buy, and knew enough to buy an extractor, could operate a commercial grade washing machine. And that's as difficult as these, first wave extraction systems. That's as difficult as they were to operate. Now we're getting into a whole different level of science, molecules being separated, different technology being added to it. So we're what we call the second wave of the industry, and that's where it's headed.